Hi everybody, welcome to another week of Animazing Animals. Now, for a change this week I've decided to show you some of the amphibians that we keep at home. So when we talk about an amphibian, it's animals that live in or near water. They're all a subcategory of a reptile, so they've got cold blood. So you've got frogs, toads, newts and salamanders. Okay, so I'm going to show you a mixture of some of those. Okay, well I hope you enjoy the animals. Okay, so here we have some more poison dart frogs. These are really large ones. These are called giant saul. So they actually come from a range of mountains in Colombia. There's two in here. There we go, there's the other one. Now the way you can tell if it's a boy or girl, on the front feet, if it's a boy, they're actually split. And if you look there, on this one here, you can actually see that on those feet there, they're like two little toes. But on the female, they're not split. And that's how you tell the difference. So I've just fed these with some fruit flies. So they're very active at the moment. And you can see they're chasing off those little flies there, trying to eat as many as they can. And they'll probably eat about 100 to 200 fruit flies a day. So we need to breed lots of fruit flies every week. So every week I make up about 12 or 14 different cultures of them, and then we can actually feed them to all the frogs we've got. We've actually got about 60 or 70 different frogs at the moment. But they're really cool. So this is another form of the most poisonous frog in the world. In fact, the most poisonous animal in the world. These ones come from Colombia, and they're called Dendrobates terribilis, which means the terrible poison frog. And this is the mint form. They also come in the golden form, which I'll probably take a video of for you in a minute. And again, it's quite a large frog. This frog is probably about 4 centimeters long. So it's quite a big poison dart frog. Now, there is enough poison in one of these frogs to kill up to about 30 adult men. And you don't have to have any cuts on your hands. The poison that comes out of the back of their body is so fine that it will go through any little pores or any little cracks in your skin and poison you. Basically, you just have a cardiac arrest. You basically your heart seizes just from touching one of these frogs. The native Indians actually use these to tip their poison darts, and that's where they get the name poison dart frog. So what they do is they go into the rainforest to try to catch these, and they will never touch them by the hands because of course they're so poisonous. So they'll pick them up with a banana leaf, wrap them up, take them back to their camp, and then when they get there, what they'll do is to just hold the legs of the frog by the back legs over a little bit of heat, over a little bit of smoke, and that will make the frog make the poison come out of the back. And then they tip their arrows with that, and that's where they get the actual poison from, to do the poison arrows. There's two of them in here. I'm not sure where the other one is at the moment. As I've mentioned before, there are lots and lots of different types of poison dart frog. These ones are a really small one. These are not much bigger than your fingernail. So a tiny little frog. What's really interesting about these ones is they do lay eggs, and they'll lay their eggs on the plant leaves. And then what will happen, the tadpoles will actually hatch on those leaves, and then the mother frog will actually come along, and the tadpoles will wriggle up onto her back, and then she'll go and put them into a hole where there's some water. And what we use is these little old film canisters, and what we do is we put some water in there and a little bit of moss in the bottom there, and she'll actually go and move the tadpole into those containers. Now every day what she'll do is she'll come back and visit those containers, and she'll lay an infertile egg in each container, and that's what the little tadpoles feed on until they actually mature and come out as newborn froglets. Let's see if I'll find another one in here somewhere here. There's one down here. This is a male. I can tell he's a male. He's a lot slimmer. There we go. A lot slimmer. The females are quite plump. The males are always slimmer. They also have a little sac underneath their throat where they can actually do the sound when they're calling. And on this species, a little bit like a very small little chirp. Okay, so here's probably the most famous of all the poison dart frogs. This is the blue poison dart frog. The actual Latin name is Dendrobates azureus. Now azureus means azure, which is like the azure sky, blue sky. They're also one of the shyest frogs, but really cool. And there's 4 of them in here. I don't know if all 4 come out. See what they're doing is I trick them a little bit because I feed them the fruit flies and that makes them come out. Now we're very lucky this year that we've actually got 3 females and 1 male, and we've actually got some fertile eggs from these, which I'm hoping that this year, for the first time, we'll actually be able to breed them. And I'll show you some of the eggs in a minute. I've also got some tadpoles and some of the other frogs as well, so I can show you some of those. Oh, look at this. Wow, that is really cool. That is a big fat female. Full of eggs. She'll be laying, and they'll actually lay eggs probably every 10 days now. And I'll show you in a minute on another little video where they lay the eggs. I'm just hoping she's going to pop up a little bit. Oh, there's another one here. There we go. Oh. You can see they're in one of my planty vivariums here. Well, all the frogs, we keep them in planty vivariums. So they look really cool. So I told you that I'd show you how we actually breed the poison dart frog. Now, in order to breed, they need to have somewhere safe to lay their eggs. So what we use is these coconut shells, which we've cut in half, and I've made that little hole there at the front that the frog can go into, and underneath that you put a little dish, and we use the lids off of Pringles, the crisp Pringles, and we put that there, and then we maybe spray that with a little bit of water, and then we put that over top like that, and then with a bit of luck the female frog will actually come in there, closely followed by the male, and then lay some fertile eggs for us. There's another species here. This is Auratus, which is the green and black poison dart frog. Another one over here. Oh, another one over there. Oh, I'm going to focus with that. So hopefully, if you're lucky, what will happen is that the mum and the dad frog will go under that little honeymoon hut and they will lay some eggs. So here we've actually got some eggs which were laid yesterday, and these are actually the blue frog, the ones that I showed you earlier, the Dendrobates azureus. And you can see the frogs, like a typical frog spawn, or they just lay, obviously being small frogs, maybe up to about 10 eggs. And then over here we've actually got, what will happen over several days, they start to turn into tadpoles, and there we've got a little tadpole there that's actually inside the egg, and that'll take about another 3 or 4 days before it hatches. Okay, so once the tadpoles hatch and those little Pringles lids, what I need to do is actually to put them into little vats of water, because they're actually cannibalistic and they'll actually eat each other. And we've done that before. We've mistakenly put 2 together, and they actually sort of eat each other. This way you can actually get 100% rearing rate, and basically they need to go in here, and then we change the water every day, and all they feed on is a good quality fish food which you put in. And then what happens, the tadpole slowly grows. This is one which is probably about 6 weeks old, so they start getting a little bit frog-like, and eventually what happens is that the back legs begin to form. So this one's going to happen. You can see at the front there's little bumps on either side, and they're going to be the front legs. And then once the front legs come out, the tail will slowly, over probably about 3 or 4 days, get smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you have a froglet. And I'll show you that in videos that I will take of this happening in the future over the next couple of weeks. So pretty cool. And I've got about 30 of these at the moment, so oh, there we go. Hi everybody, welcome to another week of Animazing Animals. Now, for a change this week I've decided to show you some of the amphibians that we keep at home. So when we talk about an amphibian, it's animals that live in or near water. They're all a subcategory of a reptile, so they've got cold blood. So you've got frogs, toads, newts and salamanders. Okay, so I'm going to show you a mixture of some of those. Okay, well I hope you enjoy the animals.